Avoid building structures without obtaining approval from the relevant agencies of the FCT administration. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Muhammad Musa Bello, gave this warning when he received members of the Governing Council of the University of Abuja. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu reports.
The Abuja Master Plan provides that building structures in the nation's capital must be erected with the supervision and approval of officials of the FCTA, as Abuja was a creation of law. FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello appeals to the university authorities to follow guidelines in the course of developing the university infrastructure.
By law, no building is put up within the territory without the relevant approvals.
On the recent kidnap of some staff of the university, the minister commends the university authorities for the role played in addressing the crime, promising to solve issues of encroachment. Chairman of the Governing Council, Professor Ahmed Modibo Mohammed, appreciates the FCT administration for the support the university has enjoyed over the years.
It has been a tradition of the Governing Council of the university to pay courtesy calls on the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital to reaffirm the healthy relationship established at the inception of the university.
Members of the University of Abuja Governing Council consist of the Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellors, a representative of the Federal Ministry of Education, among other members. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
To urgently address national, political and ethno-religious challenges undermining the peace and unity of Nigeria has again been brought to the fore. This was at a national discourse to mark 25 years anniversary of Dark Communication AIT in Abuja. Deborah Gazajimaika reports.
Debating on the topic ethnic nationalities and the emerging challenges managing the project, Nigeria discussants identify issues that have lingered and undermined the progress of Nigeria.
Project Nigeria is very dear and close to us, not just in the media, to all of us in Nigeria.
Ethnicity is not natural.
Despite all the analysis,
senior tendency and work collectively to build the nation.
There must be equitable and just social relations.
It is for us as a people to decide where do we want to go from here.
The event, which is the 10th in its series, underscored the role Dark Communications as a broadcasting institution play in national integration.
Powers that be never wanted this station to stay. 6 times they had closed down Dark Communications.
All those pushing today for the disintegration, for the cannibalization of Nigeria should please, in the interest of this country, desist from doing so.
Some individuals upholding the Nigerian project were recognized. Dark Communications is the first private broadcasting outfit in Nigeria. Deborah Gazajimaika, NTA News.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA Social Development Secretariat has evacuated 17 mental illnesses. Ifeanyi Zumba reports that the Acting Director, Social Welfare Services, Sani Amarabe of the SDS, led the exercise.
The acting director, Malam Sani Rabe, explained that the mentally challenged persons are taken to the FCT Vocational and Rehabilitation Center at Buhari Area Council for daily struggle for survival.
You must have multiple streams of income, not only maybe you're working in the civil service or you have your own business.
They also appealed for inclusion in the education and other social sectors of the economy for them to contribute their quota to national development.
When we say we are accessible, we are saying that accessibility should be given to persons with disability in all ramifications.
Enough working tools for people with disabilities, providing staff bus specifically for people with disability.
Items distributed to members include wheelchairs, crutches, rice and other foodstuff to celebrate the end of the year. Safia Nomauchi, NT News.
Anti-environmental issues globally, the world's more than 8 billion population currently scrambles for environmental resources for survival. To this end, the Environmental Management and Disaster Risk Reduction Institute has established a University of Scientific Management Studies to advance the course of sensitization. Ilyasu Onoto Yakubu brings us from issues from the annual general meeting.
Environmental hazards and disaster risks, forces of nature, inscribing their messages on human existence without recourse to repercussion. In the quest to address these threats to humanity's place of tranquility, experts have argued the need to harmonize general advancement of environmental and social knowledge.
We reached out to need areas and we discussed with opinion molders and then with the persons who are in position of authority who can change the
risk is aggravated when we have disasters, and that's why there's a need for better management of such disasters going forward.
It is wise we work on our environment in terms of adhering to the safety precautions of making our environment healthy for our existence.
There is attention in environment. Definitely the health sector will have less to do. We'll reduce our workload. So environment is very critical to us.
Today there's this consciousness that is going on.
Host of further speakers argued that information is key to better performance in addressing the challenges. The Institute has launched the establishment of the University of Environmental Scientific Studies to advance awareness. Ilyasu Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
And talking health now, the Presidential Steering Committee, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, has approved administration of booster dose for persons that have completed 2 doses of AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer, doses of Johnson & Johnson. A press statement by the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faiza Shuaibu, says the eligibility criteria for taking the booster dose are any person from 18 years and above with an interval of 6 months or more after receiving the second dose of AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Pfizer, and 2 months or more after receiving the Johnson & Johnson vaccination. According to Dr. Faiza Shuaibu, a COVID-19 booster dose gives greater protection against the virus and urge all Nigerians to take advantage of the opportunity offered by the federal government. And to COVID-19 update, figures from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as of 6 December 2021 indicate 22 new cases of COVID-19 in the FCT. The number of confirmed cases stands at 23,579, while active cases now 152, and the number of discharged cases stands at 23,203, and 224 deaths have been recorded in the FCT. You're watching the news at 1. We will be right back after this break. Please stay with us.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Thanks for staying. Authorities say they will soon commence a total clampdown on the suspected criminals who vandalized government property in their city. This came to the fore at the stakeholders' strategic meeting between the leadership of Panteka colonies and management of FCT Police Command. Ilyasu Onoti Yakubu reports.
Theirs is a hub of semi-skilled and unskilled wealth-generating labor. However, their colonies have often been as receiving ends for picking private properties as well as vandalizing of public critical infrastructures. And that singular menace particularly informed this all-important stakeholders meeting with management of the FCT Police Command. The Panteka leadership told the police authorities that the allegations have lingered for so long in public domain, giving their trade a bad name, but argued that they have on their part over time initiated modalities to checkmate these acts of criminality with feedbacks indicating that their members do not engage in receiving the stolen goods.
See anybody, any criminal activity, we are arrested the person that should do that, or we are eliminated them to not do it in Abuja.
The FCT police leadership explained that the essence of the meeting is not to point accusing fingers, but rather to solicit the collaboration of the Panteka leaders.
Of recent, the cases of vandalism of pipelines, rail lines, and other critical infrastructure is becoming alarming.
The dealers left the meeting with a pledge to further beam their satellites on identifying the suspected elements committing these acts. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
More than 16 dispatched motorcycles have been impounded by the Federal Road Safety Corps for blocking pedestrian ways on major routes in the city center. Odiri Obura wrote a report that FCT Sector Commander Samuel Ochioga warned other road traffic violators to desist from the act.
The traffic disregard by the activities of dispatch riders in the Federal Capital Territory informed the enforcement of traffic regulations by the FCT Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, which led to the impoundment of more than 16 motorcycles during the maiden operation, which they described will serve as deterrents to others.
The major aspect of it that we consider very unwholesome is the aspect of blocking where provisions have been made for the handicapped persons to use to cross the major highways in the FCT.
The sector commander assures FCT residents of maximum support during Yuletide, adding that more than 2,715 personnel will be deployed to ensure free flow of movement in Abuja.
We want to appeal to all motorists in the FCT.
He equally threatened that no vehicle seized during festive period will be released without conducting tests on the operators of the impounded vehicles. In Abuja, Odiri Ogboru Arutere, NTA News.
More so, the recent clampdown exercise on commercial motorcycle operators illegally plying various routes in the city is at the final phase of enforcement. As Abetanimo Williams brings us an update.
The Federal Capital Territory is a model city, and like every other model cities of the world, not every vehicle is allowed to ply some roads. However, the unprecedented influx of people into the environmental challenges, a situation that has increased activities of commercial bike operators, popularly known as Okada.
Starting from Friday, I've been going around all areas that we operated. I think there is a sanity in those areas.
Recently, the FCT administration moved against those contravening traffic regulations with seizure of a number of motorbikes which are brought here for crushing.
By God's grace, we will do our best until we make sure that no taken effect or
The lead of the task force assures that the crushing exercise will be a continuous one to discourage people from trampling upon the law and reiterate determination of the authority to enforce law and orderliness in the FCT. Asabe Tenimo Williams, NTA News.
And on education without safe schools, the dreams of harnessing the power of education for achieving goals in health, food, employment, environment, energy, and security, among others, will come to naught. These are the views of the stakeholders at the NUJ FRCN Headquarters Chapel 2021 Press Week, with the theme Effective Border Security, a panacea for safe schools and society. Hadiza Godwin-Ebune reports.
Record shows that schools in Nigeria in the last decade have come under recurring security threats. Chairperson NUJ-FRNC, Comrade Sandra Udeke, says the threat continues to impact negatively on the education system in the country. Hence, insecurity in schools should be tackled head-on.
There's an urgent need for insecurity in our educational institutions to be addressed. That is the message we are sending out.
Government officials, security society organizations, education experts, and other stakeholders say without safe school, the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals will be hindered.
The enforcement agencies have primary responsibility to ensure that our borders are very safe, and therefore the country is very safe.
The future of Nigeria are the children. So if the children cannot learn, they cannot have a safe and secure environment to learn, then that's a big problem for our country.
Research shows that about 1,400 schools have been destroyed since 2014, with over 1,280 casualties among teachers and students. Stakeholders say with these unending attacks, destructions, and temporary closure of schools, there is no better time to ensure a comprehensive security upgrade of infrastructure and framework in schools. Hadiza Godwin-Ebune, NTA News.
The Association of Nigerian Authors, Abuja chapter, has described the late General Mamonjiya Vatsa as a classical reflection of a patriotic citizen. Chairperson of the association, Halima Usman, affirmed that the insightful manner with which he depicts the political situation in Nigeria aptly reflects his personality. This was at the night of literary engagement and posthumous birthday of the late General. Ifeanyi Ezumba has the details.
Nigeria, our great motherland. Soldier is also a person that carries the pen.
The late General Maman is being remembered for his love for humanity, his writing skills, which is very educating, adding that he is an example of a leader, and as a military man, he was a committed officer.
One of the reasons why we are doing this event, one, to remember him. As an author, we have to remember him. He was a military man, he was a committed officer, but in the midst of his writing, he wrote a lot of poems.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, Beatrice Bako, described the late general as a professional to the core.
I was a person of high integrity, a person that loved humanity, a person that always wanted to do everything that is right.
Members of the Vasta family emphasized that they will continue to fly the legacy of the late General Maman Vatsa.
Legacy of honesty, legacy of truth, legacy of hard work. He believed in hard work.
Association of Nigerian Authors Abuja chapter is an association of writers who maintain that writers don't die, and as such, they will continue to remember their own. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
A report just reaching us says that the President Muhammad Buhari has approved the suspension of the management of Abuja Electrical Distribution Company, AEDC, and a new interim governing body appointed to oversee the day-to-day operation of the electricity distribution company, following the recent industrial action embarked on by its staff over the non-payment of arrears of pension, allowances, salaries, and promotion. The sack of the management team, conveyed by the presidency to the Federal Ministry of Power, takes immediate effect. And moving on, acts of giving is a virtue which every human being is expected to emulate, even as the Holy Scripture admonishes people to give and receive in hundredfold. It is on this basis that Jari Foundation extends the hands of fellowship to Tasha Village, Kabusa, to share the little they have with the vulnerable. Rosemary Motalambila reports.
Give and you shall receive is an age-long phrase which many can attest to. Meshach Daladi, 9 years old, and Bright Ozaya, 11, humanitarian acts. The excitement of the gesture is evident in their promises to reciprocate the acts of benevolence when they grow up.
I will share. If I have money, I will give the community people to come and share.
Representative of the village head, Thank God David Daladi, is motivated over the so-called done to his community, an initiative he described as timely.
We are very, very happy with the gift, and it's our earnest prayer that the Lord will continue.
Hungry. We are always willing to see how people can eat. They should just keep doing the good work and they should keep putting smiles on people.
Tasha Village Kabusa, under the Abuja Municipal Area Council, is a settlement for low-income earners who seek refuge to take advantage of that affordable access to food and shelter which Tasha community provides. Rosemary Molteleng Bilal, NTA News.
The Catholic of God's faithfulness and the beautiful programs it has recorded so far. President of the Catholic Women Organization, Nkem Omegara, says the 20th anniversary is to raise funds and empower indigent members. Sefia Onoma Uche reports.
Beautifully dressed in green, the Catholic women were all out to give God praise for his benevolence, awesomeness, and grace.
And able to at least feed themselves, take care of their families.
The chairman of the event, Fidel Alma Oke, applauded the CWO and urged members to support them in their bid to empower members.
When you are awarded and applauded and recognized, it only should challenge you to do more.
The women have come a long way, so it's something we really have to thank God for.
Highlights of the event include presentation of awards to members for service to humanity and the church, while others received awards for exemplary leadership.
Our commitment is to both God and to humanity. So whatever award we got today is a call to duty, and it's also a wake-up call for us to redouble our effort and commitment in the service to humanity.
Today marks my mom's 12th year memorial since she passed on. So having to receive this award today is actually
Past presidents of CWO were recognized for ensuing unity, love, and progress among the women. CWO began with few members in 2005, but now has more than 3,000 membership and still counting. Safia